Locksley, then we'll take questions.
Sure, great team win. I thought, our team for 4 quarters, regardless of who was in the game, maintained the intensity that we wanted to have, and we talked about that going into the game with the standard that we set. No matter who's in there, we were looking for execution, and I thought for the most part we got that out. We got that out of them today. I want to shout out, obviously, our student section. To come out of the shell and look out and see that student section just packed, man, is great for our team. They really feel the effect of them. We got to continue to strive to try to keep them here for 4 quarters. But again, I want to definitely, we had 12,000 students there, and we want to continue for us to play to our standard, and it was great to see them keep up the standard of showing up. Always good when you get to play a lot of players. For the development of our team, as we're still in the growth phase, it's great to be able to play a lot of these young guys and see them go out and compete. They pay the price Monday through Friday, and so anytime you can get young guys in and let them go out and play, it's always great to see. We had 8 different guys, I think, score touchdowns. We've learned a little bit more about ourselves as we went in the game too, that we're capable of playing at a high level for 4 quarters, where we don't let the external factors, whether it's the opponent, the scoreboard, or whatever it is, come into effect with how we play. And to me, that's what we've set as a standard, and we'll continue to play that kind of football. We usually have 24 hours to enjoy it. As I told our team just a while ago, unfortunately with the Friday game, we don't get the 24 hours. And so we got to get right on top of recovery tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow moves up to become a Monday in our world, which I know for you guys is different, but we've got to put this game behind us pretty quickly, and then we'll start our preparation for Illinois tomorrow night with a practice, which is normally their day off. So, it's a first opportunity to play on the road, a place that I'm very familiar with. Cut my teeth as a young coordinator at Illinois. Excited about the opportunity to go back there with this team and have an opportunity to play on the road for the first time, and again, continue to try to set or create an identity for us. With that, I'll open it up to questions.
You guys can raise your hands. We'll get a mic to you if you have questions. We're starting on the right with Patrick.
Hey, Mike.
What do you think?
Where's everybody been? To build off what you were saying about having a standard and whatnot, how happy were you, how pleased were you with the first 15, 20 minutes or so? You had 2 or 3 touchdown drives in there, and they were pretty efficient overall.
I was happy with the way the offense and defense executed. I thought in the first half we still had, we had a couple penalties on defense, which, these things just are so irritating. To have neutral zone infractions, and then we get the personal foul, and, I've had it up to here with those type of penalties, but the defense was able to get off the field the way we like. I thought offensively, scoring touchdowns in the red area, which we didn't do last week, was good. And if there was one thing that we got to get coached up and get corrected, we had some substitution errors with special teams, and for us, that's just staying in the game and guys understanding what the situation is, so we can get guys out on the field.
Coach, going off of special teams, we saw Deshaun Jones and Tari alternate at punt return. Just talk about what was the thought process behind that.
Well, we've had 3 guys that have returned punts all spring and all summer. And as I said, we're very fortunate that we've got a ton of skilled guys that have that ability. Jay Sean is a guy that has returned punts in the past. He's been back there. Tarheeb, we've seen him and the ball skills he has, and obviously made a play on the return team this week. And then we usually have Rakim back. Rock kind of got nicked up early, so we decided not to put him back there. But Tarheeb plays a lot of plays on defense for us, being the nickel, being a corner. He's on a lot of special teams, and so we wanted to get a couple of guys opportunities for in-game experience. And it was good to see Tarheeb be able to get a couple of returns, and Jay Sean obviously has done it.
Coach, you had some outstanding freshman defensive play out there tonight. What do you make of your new crop of defensive linemen?
And through recruiting, we've been able to create some depth there, and that group has been much talked about quite a bit. We talk about the Andre Porters, the Darryl Jacksons, Tajay Johnson, Chop. A bunch of these guys that we've recruited that have afforded us the opportunity to have more depth, which we have not had. And it was good to be able to play those guys a lot. Darryl Jackson played a lot last week, and and continue to do so along with Chop. But it was good to be able to get, you know, Taze Johnson out there early. Good to get Tommy Aking-Basote some play there in the second half, and Andre Porter as well. So the future looks good for us. It was a great opportunity to play a lot of young players and develop our roster.
Hey, Coach. I know you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Colby McDonald, Roman Hempy, a couple of those guys got some nice touches. What does it mean for their development just to, you know, kind of get into games like this?
Yeah, those young running backs, you know, we signed 3 running backs in the last recruiting class because we lost some guys the last couple of years. And, you know, Roman Hempy was a guy that this summer really stood out to us in terms of his playmaking ability, and then was really pleasantly surprised with the way Colby McDonald has picked up things. And he had a great summer camp for us, and last week was banged up going into the West Virginia game, and so we didn't play him. And then Antoine Littleton showed that he can come in and be, you know, a great complement, very similar to Penny Boone. You know, we've got a backfield that's really deep. We've got great depth. They all have good vision and size. So, you know, it was great to see those 3 young running backs get some playing time today and do something with it.
Hey, Coach. If I could just ask you, you know, what were your thoughts on DAndre Dumas having another big game for you?
Again, you know, he's been Mr. Consistent for us the last few years. But what I think you see now is, you know, the dividends from the work that he's put in this summer. As I said last week, there's no player in our program that's probably matured as much and really put the work in to have the type of success he's having, and it's great to see him continue to do that. So happy for Dante, and again, it's a great example of when you put that work in the off season and understand, you know, what it takes to play at a high level, and I think he understands that.
Hi, Coach. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about last week Isaiah Jacobs playing and not Penny Boone, and then this week kind of the swap and what you like from each of them.
Yeah, you know, Isaiah was able to play last week, and he kind of had a little bit of turf toe. And for a running back to have a little turf toe issues, we saw, you know, he practiced 2 of the days, and I just didn't like the way he looked on Wednesday with kind of limped off. And so, you know, we got some big games coming up here, back to back, you know, a Friday game, and then come back 2 weeks later, have another Friday game. So we rested him. He was available to play if needed. Luckily, we've created depth there. You know, Penny last week didn't get to play because he missed a lot of work going into the first game as well. So, you know, we were able to get Penny some work, rest Isaiah. He'll be available for us this week, and we'll, you know, continue to develop that room.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. I was wondering if you might be able to elaborate a little bit on what today means for you. I know a lot of your players weren't even born on 9/11. So how did you get them ready, and what did playing today mean for you?
You know, obviously 9/11, you know, when you reflect back on it, and I was a young assistant when it took place, I think what it showed, number one, you know, we talked to our team about what a patriot is, someone that loves their community, someone that's willing to do things for others. And you think about the people we lost on 9/11 with those first responders, the people that were in the World Trade Center, the people in the Pentagon, and, you know, so many people made sacrifices on that day. So for our players, I think the big piece for us was understanding that, you know, to sacrifice for others is really important. And I think 9/11, instead of, you know, talking about the effect of the planes and what they did, I think what we focused on was the, you know, remarkable character that was shown by a lot of individuals who lost their lives for their community, and that's what it needs to be.
I'm gonna take 2 more in the back of the TV.
Hi, Coach. So next week you have your first Big Ten matchup against Illinois. How is the preparation and the mindset of the team shifting as we get ready for that first game?
Yeah, it's a quick shift. I mean, you know, we're very fortunate that the way we're set up as an organization, that, you know, some of our analysts that strictly do football, they're able to work ahead, and so that allows us tomorrow to flip the tape, to flip the script on this Howard game and put it behind us pretty quickly. So we'll have scouting reports available tomorrow, which typically we do on Monday. Like I said, because of the way we're set up from an organization standpoint, we've been able to maybe work a little bit ahead None of the full-time coaches have, but those, the analysts and GAs that work with us have been working diligently. And then the summer preparation we put in, understanding that this game would happen really quickly. So excited about the start of the Big Ten season. Like I said, the first one's on the road. As we continue to create an identity, I think it's important that our players understand what it means playing on the road in the Big Ten and how important it is to, again, try to maintain the standard Monday through Friday that we've set, to be able to enjoy the fruits of it on game day. So for us, we got to put some work on Sunday through Thursday this week to go out to Champaign and, find a way to go out and play to our standard.
Last one, Andrew in the front row.
Because going off of that, do you feel like you guys play up to your standards? And you talked about not playing the opponent, playing up to your standard. Do you feel like you played to that standard today?
Yeah, I did, and part of our standard is not looking at the scoreboard, and typically when you play a lot of players, things tend to get a little sloppy. I didn't feel like it got sloppy. I thought that's when I talk about the mental intensity that we played with. Even the young players that normally don't play a lot, when they went in the game in the fourth quarter, I thought they executed the stuff we wanted to do. I mean, we started slowing the game down in the middle of the third quarter. Even though we're no huddle, we just slowed down calling it. We used as much of the clock as we could, and we continued to just, up front execute with a lot of moving pieces. We played, a ton of guys up front, and we played 4 quarterbacks, all those young running backs. So was really pleased with the way we maintained our mental intensity, regardless of what the score was. And that's what we shoot for.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.